And now we've gotten to the part where we evaluate the alignment between us. First, there can be just an overarching question where we ask ourselves, okay, if I would be absolutely real, honest and authentic, would we end up having harmony or conflict? The more detailed process is such: first, you evaluate yourself to uncover what are your desires. Then, you ask your co-founder to evaluate them. In step 3, you share with each other what are your desires, and step 4, you evaluate how comparable, how similar they are. For evaluating your own desires, I will give you questions. When you will go through the questions, at some places you might feel lack of clarity. In these situations, I recommend to talk with someone, or at least to talk things out loud and record them. When we speak and record, it increases the self-accountability, and then we can feel better when we are saying something. Are we saying something that rings true or not? And if we talk with someone, then again, we can feel just by speaking, and then the other person can reflect back to us. And we can ask them questions like, can you share what do you feel when I speak this? What do you sense is true and what is not true? What do you observe about me? What do you feel about me? And so on. You can talk with your spouse or your good friend outside the company, or with the mentor, so there are plenty of options. And I have plenty of questions, so I will read them for you and take the time in your own tempo when you can to reflect on them. There's sometimes this question that, yeah, but I don't have the time to invest in it. If you have time, years, to spend in something that is misaligned, then maybe it's worth to invest half an hour to find this time to reflect on what could be aligned situation for. Alright, questions. First part is about the desires I want to get from the company. And let's start with a simple question. What do I want to get from the company? What kind of experiences I want to get? What lifestyle do I want to have with the resources that the company provides, including all the properties I want? And what lifestyle do I want thanks to being part of this company? This includes the work style, the work hours, the duties, and so on. What type of company culture do I want to experience? What relationships do I want to have with what types of people, and how those relationships should feel and work, and what should they give to me? How do I want to feel thanks to being with this company? What virtues do I want to experience? What values do I want to experience? Is there anything else I want to get from this company? How much or little visibility and recognition do I want to get from this company? Do I want to prove something to someone? If yes, what do I want to prove? To whom and why? What type of power and control do I want to have? How do I want to control other people and things around me in this company? Why do I want to control it this way? How much money do I want? By when? Why? If I want more money than I need for my experiences, then what do I want this money for? Why I want this money? Now part 2 is the desires that I want to give through the company. First question, do I want to give something through this company? To whom? Why? What is my greater life vision? What do I see is the thing or change I want to create in society? Why I want this change? How am I contributing to this change? Or how could I contribute to this change? Why? Whom am I serving through this company? Why? How am I serving them? Why so? What problems do I want to solve for them? Why? What value do I want to give to them? Why? Do I feel it's really important to me authentically? Why? And why me? How does my background explain why it's logical for me to think about these things and work on these things? Would anything change for me if no one would find out that I was behind these actions? How would it change? So next is part 3, the desires, what I want to give to the company. And first is the time. Well, how much time do I want to give to the company per week? And second, how many years do I want to give to this company? If I don't know exact answer, just approximate answer. Then exclusivity. Is this the only thing I want to be doing, or want to be doing something else also? And if I want to be doing something else also, why I cannot do it through this company in this company? And why I want to be doing this other thing? Then the applied abilities. If I take together my abilities and what I'm doing with them in the company and what results it's bringing to the company, then from 0 to 10, what's my level of applied abilities in the company? And then the second question, looking from another side on this topic, if I would make two lists, one list all my responsibilities and tasks in the company, and second list all the things I would love to be doing but I'm not doing them in this company, then to what extent do I feel that the list of things that I am doing feels good to me from 0 to 10? And then part 4, the summary questions. First is, what is success definition for me? Not for society or media, but for me personally. What is success? And why is it so? And how will I know that I have reached it? What's the main thing I want to get from the company? And then next, what is the main thing I want to give through the company? And then next, what do I want more, to give or to get through the company? If it's hard to answer any of these questions, you can also reframe the question in such a way. If I wouldn't get this, what would cause me the most pain and why? If this company would bankrupt, what would cause me the most suffering? And the last question is for your gut feeling. To what extent do I feel we are aligned with my co-founder and why? So this concludes the self-evaluation part, and then the next step is to give this same opportunity to our co-founders that they evaluate themselves according to these questions. And only if it's not possible for some crazy conflict situation, we would be evaluating them, making our assumptions about them. But as you see, those questions are quite deep. It is super easy to make wrong assumptions about co-founders if we just do it. Therefore, after the co-founder have done their own self-evaluation, then the next step only is that we sit together and we share our answers with each other. I tell how the things are for me, he or she tells how the things are for them, and we do not judge, but instead we ask questions to explore more. Questions like, oh, tell me more, how is it for you, but why do you want it this way, what would you get if you have it, and what would it mean for you to have it, what would it mean for you to not have it. And here important part is the inquiry and curiosity, so that we understand them better, and also by them asking questions to us, we understand ourselves better. And here one important thing is how we ask questions, the energy and the tone. You can compare these two options. One is, but why do you want it this way? So this is not a curiosity, this is judgment. But if you ask, but why do you want it this way? Or can you tell me more? What does it mean for you if you get it or you don't get it? This is curiosity. This helps to explore things. And then the last step in evaluating alignment is where you compare and assess how aligned are we. I suggest to use very simple score, which is from 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you avoid any averages. 1 super misaligned, 4 aligned, 3 kind of aligned, 2 rather not aligned. And that's it. And then you ask yourself questions. First is, how aligned do we feel overall? Then how aligned do we feel in terms of what we want to get from the company? Then in terms of what we want to give through the company, and then what we want to give to the company. And remember, this alignment doesn't mean that you want exactly the same things. It means you want things in such a way that you are helping each other to get what each person wants, and you are not disturbing them from getting what they want, and they are not disturbing you. And after you have concluded this evaluation, if you see that we are aligned, it's 3 or 4, then what follows in this chapter maybe is not relevant for you and you just move on to the next, which is setup chapter. But if you recognize that there is some form of misalignment between you, then what follows might support you. Or not, because what I'm going to say is that in most cases misalignments cannot be fixed. The solution is to part ways, with some exceptions. And now let's go through those options, starting from the very obvious, where parting the ways is the solution.